Hello, hello, hello. How are you? My name is Patricia. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the United States and specifically in Alaska. We are going to look at some stamps and dies from the annual catalog from May 2021 to April 2022. So if it's after that date, this catalog will no longer be active. But if you would like a catalog, I am more than happy to send you one if you live in the United States. And if you will put a request in the comments below, I will make sure you get a catalog. So let's jump right into this. What we're going to look at today, you may have already been able to tell, is this gorgeous, I love this thing, Artistically inked. This is the stamp set right here. And hello, best wishes, thanks, and happy birthday. Some nice big sentiments, which I really love. It kind of has that alcohol inked look. It's just gorgeous. And it is the one that's on the front of the catalog. So pretty cool. In addition to that, if you were to, in this year, purchase both the die and the stamp set, you would get a 10% discount. This is on page 97. I don't believe I mentioned that. If you want, however, the suite, not only will you get the discount for getting the stamp and die bundle, but you'll also get, check this out, this paper. And we're going to look at that here in just a moment so that you can get a better view of that. And the paper is gorgeous. There's also some ephemera and things in that suite. A suite means the items that go with it. And one of the items that goes with this is this beautiful foil. We're not going to do the foil today, but something I do want to point out is the colors for this stamp, not the stamp and die set, you can use any color if you want for that, but for the suite and the paper that come with this are listed here anytime there is a suite that is listed in the catalog. So in this case, we've got Polished Pink, Pale Papaya, Pear, Pizzazz, Just Jade, Shaded Spruce, and Evening Evergreen. Another thing we're going to, I already showed you the paper. So let's actually look at the paper so that we can really see this. One of the things that is so cool about this paper, look at that gold accent on there. And a lot of them have that. Look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? So let's look at some of the papers. Remember that almost all Stampin' Up! Papers are double-sided. Now you're looking at this going, wait a minute, that's got an awful lot of white space. It does, but white space is our friend. So we're going to look at how to cut that up here in just a moment. The other side of this one is that. This is another one with a fair bit of white space in it. We will basically cut it the same way that we would cut this one. Actually, I want to pull that out because I do want to cut that. Yeah, I might cut the other one that's similar to it. We'll see. Let's see. We have got this one. Same thing there. This one has the gold accents on this side, where this one has the gold accents on this side. Gorgeous, gorgeous papers. Absolutely love them. And then this. I think this is the one we'll cut. But isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. Oh, it's just so awesome. And then one last paper. This one and this. Look at the centers of those flowers with the gold accents. Just gorgeous. All right, let me show you. Oh, another thing I will point out on the package, it also lists the colors for that particular paper, in this case, DSP or Designer Series paper. So let's look at how to cut these papers that, you would look at and go, I'm not quite sure what to do with that. So get out your paper trimmer let's put it in there. This is 12 by 12, so I want to cut at 6. And this paper trimmer goes up to 6 on the main board, but then you swing out the arm and it goes, let me show you, to 17. So plenty of room. I'm going to close that because I don't really need it. I'm going to put this in at 6 inches. I'm going to make sure my paper is up against the edge and slice it. Then what I'm going to do is turn my paper the other direction. And remember, this paper is was 12 by 12. So now what I want to do is cut it at 4. I'm going to cut it at 4 inches. This is, of course, in the US for our regular size cards. There we go. Okay, then what I like to do, I'm going to put my paper trimmer aside for a moment. We're going to come back to it in a second. But I like to look then at each of these and decide, which do I like better? Doesn't really matter, because if I'm not using it, I can still go back to it. However, if I look on the other side, this is the one that had that white space in the middle. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? So if I want something more with the pale papaya, I could go with this one. I could go, it just doesn't matter. They're gorgeous on both sides. But I do sort of look through them and decide, I think I want to go, this way. Doesn't really matter, but I look at that. Now, remember, these are 4 by 6. Well, if I have a conventional, let's say this is the card stock that I want to put this on, which is half of an 8.5 by 11, and it's already been folded. Okay, if I look at that, I'm hanging over a bit. So what I need to do in order for it to fit on my cardstock is then cut off a little bit more of that. And I am going to cut off, let's see, we've got it at 4, so I want it at 5 1/4. So I'm going to put it in there at 5 1/4, make sure it's up against the edge, and cut it. And you're going, Patricia, you've just got a white piece. You're going to have to throw that away. Oh, no. Look at this on the back side. And look, this matches. So I can still use this on the inside of my card. I'll show you that. Let's go ahead and go with, let's do a pale papaya. Or should we do a polished pink? These are, I pulled already cardstock cut into the sizes that I would use for my card base. And yeah, I think, do we want pink? Nah, I think we're going to go with the pale papaya. All right, so we're going to pull this over. Like I said, this is cardstock. It's already been cut in half at the 5.5 inch mark. And I am going to fold my card base, take my bone folder, give it a good fold there so that it'll stay flat. And then, okay, when we get our stamps, especially if you get the stamps and the dies, let me show you that other die that's missing out of there. The stamps and the dies, I take them out of this envelope and I use it for other things. Then I put them with the stamp set that they go with, and I put a piece of a magnet sheet in there, and then I just fold the cover that came with the dies and put it in my stamp set. And then all of these stamp sets would stamps would also be in that set. And then I just close it up, and when I look in it, I can, from the back, I can see what is there and what might be missing, in this case, the stamps, but I've already pulled them out. So what I do then with this envelope, this is a gorgeous envelope. I don't want to throw that away. And so I cut up my paper in the size that I need. And what I need for this particular card on the inside, because remember this paper is 4 1/4, by 5 1/2. 5 1/2, 4 1/4. And if I want to put a piece of paper on the inside, I could sign on this pale papaya. But in this case, what I'm going to do is put this in there. So let's go ahead and use my adhesive and put it down. Okay. And I have cut it. What I started to say is I have cut this inside piece 1/4 of an inch down so that I have 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And now this piece that I cut off here, I'm going to put on the inside, and that decorates the inside of my card. And no waste of that beautiful paper. So I could put it all the way over on the side, or I could put it, you know, another 1/4 of an inch. I think we're going to go all the way over on that side and lay it down. And there we go. Now our card base is ready, and now we're ready to do something on the front of our card. And I am going to make this a super, super simple card and just put, oops, let's go with happy birthday. Happy birthday sounds good, right? Can use lots of happy birthday cards. Okay, and I think I will go with the polished pink. So I'm going to take my ink pad. Oops. Open that up. It does help if you have it right side up. Now, here's one hint I have to give you. When I have got my card base done here, and all I'm going to do is put the sentiment on the front, I am not going to glue it down yet, because if I make a mistake, I can still turn this over to the other side. So, and what kind of mistakes could you make? Well, you could do all kinds of things. But I am going to go straight down, not rocking, at least not much. Give it a little bit of firm pressure and lift up. It's a little crooked. I'm okay with that. It's a handmade card. I'm not going to worry about it. Now, what I could do to make this a little more oomph is take, and I think I will, take my flower, my other flower that comes in the, it's this one. Take my flower, give it a little bit of pressure there. I'm going to take my leaf out of the same stamp set. I'm going to give it a little bit of oomph. Stamp that. There we go. Straight down, straight up. Close these up so I don't get anything in them. Have you ever completely finished a card and then put it right in your ink? And I'm going to take my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and cut these out. So, let me grab that. And I happen to have my standard size, or the big boy. Whoa, I got some papers on there. Just cut something out, didn't I? Get rid of those real quick. I tell you, this static electricity on those catches them, and it wants to stay on there. So I'm going to put my cut plate down. I'm going to put my paper down. I'm going to grab my dies, which are this one and this one. Put those back in there and line them up. These are so easy to line up. It's really very, very easy to do. Can you see me? There we go. Line those up. Line that up. Put my top plate on. I could so easily have done this in my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, but this is the one I happen to have right here beside me. So, pull that out. There we go. Then I like to store these plates under my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine once I've closed it up. So there's just another little extra hint for you. I am going to put up my dies so that I don't lose them. Put that aside. I'm going to take these and grab a glue dot. And I'm going to put the glue dot on the front. Which side do I want? Yeah, on the front of my leaf, so that I can put it behind my flower. Something like that. And where did my card go? Here. Where's my front? There we go. Happy birthday. And I think I will put that right there, but I will put it on some dimensionals. So I will grab those. This is a set that's almost gone. And so I've cut these dimensionals. Oh, I didn't cut enough. Give it a few more cuts. And that one went flying. Hello. And it stuck to me. There we go. Take the top pieces off of that. Oh, no, it's still on there. Didn't want to come. You can press that with your thumbnail and that pops it up a little bit. Hello. Okay. So, kind of liked it the other way. There we go. Put our flower on there. Now let's glue it down. It almost seems a crime to cover up that paper, doesn't it? And use my Tombow multi-purpose. Put me some glue on there. Now the reason I love the Tombow is because it does give you a little bit of time, wiggle time if you will, to move that around if you need to. And there's my card. How cool is that? Now my happy birthday's a little off, which, you know what, if it really, really bothered me, which it may, I could make a strip and just put that on top of that and nobody would ever know that I had to do that because it bothered me. I can put some rhinestones or some epoxy essentials on it, or even probably better would be the Pearl Basic Jewels. I like them. As a matter of fact, I think I will do that. Got the side of that open, so I'll just reach in and grab one. Hello. Should have done that with my scissors or my take your pick tool. Well, my goodness. Yeah, I definitely should have used my take your pick or scissors. There we go. Put that right in the middle. There we go. How cool is that? All right, that's one card. Let me show you a couple of others. This one, the same paper, only the one with the green, and I put it on here. Now, I'll tell you this. I made a couple of mistakes on here. These ink pads that I have that match this, a lot of them are the brand new colors and they're very, very inky. And when I did, I got 2 dots of ink shadow. Let me show you what I mean by that. If I take a piece of paper and I'll even use that. Oh, it's not the same. Oh, maybe it is the same ink. Okay, and let me just show you with another. So I've got my ink. See, you can see how inky it is. And if I put that on there and I rock it a little, and of course it won't do it when I try to do it. There we go. You see how I got a shadow on there? And fortunately, when I did it on this one, I got a tiny little bit of ink on it. And so what I did is I covered those 2 spots up with my gems and then put a third one on there to have my 3s or 5. You know, you want to have an uneven number, but you can't even tell that I messed up on it. And then again, I took that extra piece and put it here on the inside. Here is one that I used this stamp for. This doesn't even have any of the DSP, the Designer Series paper on it. I used this stamp, and you look at that and you're going, what in the world are you supposed to do with that thing? This is it. And what I did is I stamped once and then stamped again. Let me show you that, because it is the coolest stamp. I think it's going to be my favorite, and yet when I looked at it, at first I was kind of like, not quite sure what that's going to be. Let's do this just, you know what? Let's use the polished pink, just 'cause. Okay, so I'm going to take the polished pink. I'm going to put it along this edge. So I have to sort of turn the stamp the correct direction, and then I want to line it up, of course. Now, give it a good compression there. Isn't that cool? Do it again. Same thing. Now, you can overlap, you can not overlap, whatever floats your boater. There we go. How cool is that? Just the coolest thing. Put that on a polished pink background. Put a flower on it, maybe, like we already did. Cut it out. This one I used the double leaves. Just so cool. I just love that thing. And found lots and lots of uses for it. So go out and play with it. Experiment with it. I am going to do another video on this particular stamp set. I probably will do quite a few more, but I'm at least going to do one more in the next few days, so be on the lookout for that. If you learned something, if you enjoyed this, if you had a good time, please give me a thumbs up. I would love that. It does help me to spread the word. Also, down below that is a subscribe button. If it's red, that means you have not subscribed, and just next to that is a bell. If you would ring that bell, it will give you, or YouTube will give you notifications that I have posted another video when I do that. I also appreciate and love to hear your comments on if you learned something or whatever. Thank you so much. Hope you learned something new, and we'll see you next time. Oh, I did want to tell you one other thing. Marcy Bessiker showed an awesome way to use this stamp set. So go check that out. It's really, really cool. I think you'll enjoy it. Thank you so much. And again, have a great evening or afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are.